All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the dragon. So once you complete all the dragon quests, you'll be able to select a dragon. Note you are stuck with that dragon unless you want to reset it, which I've talked about in another video. But you can only reset your dragon with real money. So unless you're willing to drop money on that, you are kind of stuck to it. The benefit is if you pick a dragon you don't really like, it's not a huge issue. Just because they're really only useful from like stage 10 and on, and then even then the difference and bonuses you get are pretty marginal. So as far as what each dragon does, and maybe the reason why you would want to pick each of them, it really does come down to like playstyle and preference. But so we have Ignos, the flame dragon we'll start with. That's the one I picked, not because I think he's the best by any means, but what Ignos does is Ignos, like all the dragons, they come in, do do their regular damage, and then Ignos also does bonus percent damage, just based on the enemy's health, and so that's just going to be helpful because it's additional damage. It's probably one of the easiest to use out of all the dragons, just because you don't really have to think about it a ton. You just spam Ignos' ability, especially if you see a big wave or whatever. Deal lots of damage. Not too much worry there. On to the next one is the Nature Dragon. Can't remember its name, but what the Nature Dragon does is it debuffs the enemies, so like their attack speed, knocks that down, which is really nice just because, I mean, especially if you know you're going to be, this is where it kind of gets into a bit more utility. So if you know what you're doing, the Nature Dragon can be kind of nice. It does take a little more thinking than just, see big wave, push button kind of deal. But if you know you're going to take a lot of damage from certain enemies, then the Nature Dragon's a pretty good one to do, just because you can debuff the enemies, try and make sure your life lasts longer, and just kind of work around that. And then finally, we have the Frost Dragon. So the Frost Dragon, right now, it's kind of one of the most popular ones. I'd note this does kind of shift, just as far as sometimes the devs will go and make slight changes to each dragon, change, the buff duration, how long they burn, or how long, like the Nature Dragon will debuff the enemies. But right now, the Frost Dragon is really popular. So just going off of that, how they will shift stuff around, that's why it really does kind of come down to play style and preference. They'll try and balance stuff as they see fit, but whatever one you're most comfortable with using, whether it's because that's the easiest or because you just like playing with the timing of it, then that's great for you. But so the Frost Dragon, what it does is, on top of just dealing the regular damage like all the other dragons, it will apply a freeze to the enemies. So, and this is what makes it the most utility-wise, just because if executed correctly, it can be really nice because you freeze the enemies, and then, they can't be doing any damage back to you, healing, whatever, and then your slime can still be attacking. The downside, I'd say, to this, you just got to be aware of, it freezes the enemies, but it doesn't stop new enemies from coming into the wave. So make sure you're aware, just the timing of it. Don't expect enemies to completely stop coming. And you just kind of have to play around with that. But that is kind of the popular one right now, just because if used correctly, it can be really helpful. But let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.